Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Soul Stained Ink. My name is Beth, and I thought I would come on here, do a couple of brief book reviews, and then tell you what I am trying to read this weekend. So, first up, I can't remember if I talked to you about night books or not. This one has an adaptation on Netflix that does not really stay true to the story. It's a cute movie, but if you enjoyed the movie, I think you would love the book way more. It was fun, though, because I've been reading this book to my 6th grade boys during study hall. We started it in October, but then they got kind of pulled down with work that they needed to be doing during study hall, and I would only read to them if everybody had finished all of their homework and backlog of work and whatever. So we restarted it at the beginning of May, and because we were at the end of school and we were doing all the STAR testing and everything, we were able to actually read for at least a little bit of class most days, and we finished the whole book. And this follows Alex and his friend Yasmin, only she doesn't start out as his friend because Alex is a writer, and something happens and he decides he's going to get rid of the books of his stories because he writes scary stories. And when he goes to throw out his books, he ends up hearing like his favorite horror movie coming through an apartment door, and it sounds like somebody is like inviting him to come in. He can smell popcorn, and being kind of your typical, I think he's 12 or 13, being your typical like early junior high boy, he's like, I'll check this out, and he ends up being kidnapped by the apartment, or the person in the apartment, who is a witch, and he has to write stories to keep her happy. And then Yasmin is already in there. There is a creepy cat who can make herself invisible, and this is a good time. I highly recommend reading it at any point throughout the year, but if you're looking for a kind of creepy middle grade book to get into during October, definitely put that one on your list. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. That is the second or third time I've read it, and just highly enjoyed it every time. Next, I've got the 2 books that came in our Read to Me box from between the bookends, and we absolutely adore the box. We love everything in it. We love every box we've gotten from between the bookends. They are amazing. Sarah and Jillian are absolutely fabulous. I love what they are doing. I always try to remember to link their box down below, so if you want to check them out, you should. But the 2 books Ray got in her very first box are Jamie O'Rourke and the Big Potato, which is an Irish folktale retold by Tommy DePaulo. And this is just talking about how like taking the easy way out does not pay, and if with hard work you get really good results. It was super cute, and Ray took this one and the other one, which is Follow the Recipe: Poems About Imagination, Celebration, and Cake by Marilyn Singer, illustrated by Marjorie Priceman, to the graduation. So the 4 kids that I had last year for fine arts and this year for English 4, they graduated today. I'm so very proud of them. My 8th graders graduated like Wednesday, I think. I'm so proud of them as well, or Tuesday. All of my kids are growing up and moving on and going on to big adventures, and I'm so proud, and I cannot wait to watch all of the new ways they find to change the world. And this book was actually so very sweet and definitely something that made sense to have at the graduation, because it has like recipe for patience. And part of that is begin again and again till the plink, plink, plink becomes the softer pluh, 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 the gentle thrill as your pot begins to fill. There's a recipe for adventure, recipe for balance, recipe for writing a poem, recipe for following recipes, recipe for social studies, which is adorable, recipe for disaster, recipe for science. The illustrations are adorable. The book is adorable. We gave both of these 4 out of 5 stars, or I did. I think Raylan would give them 100,000 out of 5. She loved them, and she was flipping through she was flipping through the pictures all during the beginning of the ceremony. The other book I have finished recently that I don't think I've talked to you about is Errol Broom's Tangles. Now, this might be more of kind of an upper children's book. It's one of those that is in that kind of Venn diagram of children's, middle grade, and then like that perfect in between. So it's a short novel, short chapters, but it's definitely for slightly older children or younger middle grade. But this is about a little girl who, at the very beginning of the book, her cat gets run over. And a couple of weeks later, they go to the fair, and there is somebody selling kittens. But she doesn't have quite enough money to buy one of the kittens. And she finds a way to get a kitten, but it kind of weighs down on her conscience. And it's about her dealing with that and figuring out how to handle it, what she needs to do, and the way she and her relationships suffer as she's trying to figure it out. It's very sweet. Parts of it are absolutely heart-wrenching. It's very, very sweet, though. I think I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. All right, as for what I am reading this weekend, very quickly, I started Hello from Wren Lake by Michelle Weber Hurwitz. This is actually one of my recent Between the Bookends books, and I started it literally, have read for maybe 30 minutes total, just off and on here and there. I'm on page 80, so 30 minutes to an hour. This book is told from the perspective of a little girl who is 12, I believe, and the lake that she lives by and can talk to. So it is, you get chapters that are from the lake's perspective that are very, very interesting. I love the way they're told. And then you get chapters from Annalise's perspective, which is a totally different voice. The author has done an amazing job switching back and forth between them. And I'm, like I said, I'm on page 80, so I'm about a third of the way through, and I just cannot wait. Is that a fact? Cannot wait to continue on with it. Have kids, they said. It'll be fun, they said. My house is a madhouse. Somebody come save me. All right, anyway, this, when I get done with it, which I'm honestly, if I can just sit down and read, I think I'll get through with it tonight, maybe. But then I want to pick up the Red Trailer Mystery, which is book 2 in the Trixie Belden Mystery Series. It follows Trixie and Honey and... Hi, why are you taking my bag? I wanted it to be where it was. Why are you moving it? Thank you. My cute bag. Got that from the $1.25 tree. Ooh. He said no. I love gnomes. In case you didn't know. See what I did there? Oh, man, I spent way too much time with the high school children. All right. Anyway, this follows Trixie Belden, her best friend, Honey Wheeler, and Honey's nanny, Mrs. Travis, I think. Is that her name? Oh, my goodness. Anyway, they go out in a trailer, and they are trying to find Jim. Mrs. Trask. Her name is Mrs. Trask. All right, so Mrs. Trask and Honey and Trixie are in a trailer, and they are spending the summer trying to find Jim, who we met in the first book. He is the great nephew of a gentleman who left him a whole bunch of money, but he's on the run from his evil stepfather, basically. And so Honey and Trixie are attempting to find him to let him know that everything's okay and he can come back, and, you know, they've got it all figured out. So I remember this being an amazing book. I absolutely adored it the other 150 times I've read it. That's probably a bit of an exaggeration, but not by much. But now I haven't read it in a few years, so I'm looking forward to reintroducing myself to the storyline. I also have 2 audiobooks going on. Elena and I are listening to Skullduggery Pleasant book number 4. Yeah, book number 4. It's called Dark Days. We're a little over halfway through that. And we have a 50-minute drive to church tomorrow and then back from church tomorrow. We'll get a good chunk of that done. We might listen to a little tonight. I'm not sure. But I also have the second book in a middle grade series. The first book is The Secret of Blackstone. I don't remember. Black Hollow Lane. The Secret of Black Hollow Lane. The second book is The Secret of Whitestone Gate. These are by Julia Noble. I think I've got about an hour left on that audiobook. I'm hoping to complete that this evening. And then I will probably start another audiobook just because I can't help myself. But I do have a huge stack of books that today is the 28th. We've got 3 days left of the month. I will have a book a day, but I don't think I'm going to get to the other 25 books on my middle grade TBR. So that might be my June TBR on top of whatever my June class wants me to read. But this video has gone on a little longer and a little louder than I had intended, so I'm going to let you guys go. I will talk to you again soon. I hope you're having a fabulous weekend. We finished school and daycare and are on our first official day of summer. Mama. So we're going to go play. What? Can you say bye? Bye. Bye.